And we'd like to know what does resilience mean for Grenada Solutions in the context of the immigration investment industry.
Well, I'll start by looking at the idea of resilience aside from the company and what we can do to stay relevant within the industry, but more so, resilience for me is how do islands like Grenada build the systems locally to make Grenada an attractive market aside from what it can offer someone externally. So right now the dialogue within the industry has always been get citizenship and get access to EU. Get citizenship, get access to the UK. What about get citizenship and grow and develop what is here in Grenada? Or grow and develop yourself through what is available to you in Grenada, right? So for me, Grenada has to stop operating in silos. All of the islands have to stop operating in silos. The different entities here, the different stakeholders have to speak. Government has to be more transparent with their units. Units have to be more transparent with the agents. Agents and government and the units have to be more transparent with the citizenry, right? We all need to work together to ensure that the key pillars that will create the lifestyle that is desirable, not just to Grenadians here at home, but to anyone internationally, is developed within the confinements of our borders. What are we doing to improve our healthcare? What are we doing to improve our education? How are we increasing our ranking on the ease of doing business index? You know, how do we create an enabling environment for growth and sustainability? To me, once we can get that initiated and we create a strategic plan that helps us develop those goals in keeping with our individual pillars that we have defined for our economy, that is where resilience would start. Because then it doesn't matter what affiliations or connections you have to the external world, you would have developed an economy that is so desirable that people want to be part of Grenada. They don't care what Grenada is priced at, or you know who you are related to.
Yeah.
They care about the fact that, oh my God, I'm Grenadian and I have this awesome home that I can go to. I can start a business. My children have access to school. We have universal health care.
Right.
If I fall sick, I can always go back there. That's where resilience starts. You have to look inward and stop looking outward. So my hope is that coming out of this conference, the powers that be start doing just that we stop reacting to everything that is happening external to us. We remember what our developmental goals are. We remember the national sustainability strategic projects that we have initiated, the plans that we have put on paper, and we see how programs like this can align with those goals to create the economy and the society that we need in Grenada so that Grenadians are happy and those outside of Grenada want to be as happy as the Grenadians inside Grenada.
Absolutely. I really love how you've laid it out and outlined it, because the citizenship by investment industry in the Caribbean is more a social mission than it is economic. It's really transforming our countries and our lives. So I really like how you've outlined it. Having said that, what is your outlook for the industry in the region, at least for the next 5 years? Do you see any significant changes or trends that we should be mindful of?
I think at our doorstep is the fact that these programs are going to have a residency component. Right now, most of them, excluding Antigua, does not require residency because of the pressures that have been put on us. And I think also because there is recognition now that we need to create some kind of nexus with the investors and also interact with the investor diaspora of these Caribbean nations, that we're going to look and see ways of residency programs being incorporated into what we do so that the people who are investing in these islands actually have skin in the game. They touch our locals, their skills transfer and human capacity development. So I anticipate that component coming in, and I think once that happens, then you'll start to see a lot of the secondary trickle-down effects of having different sectors develop because of that skills transfer happening as well.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing. We'd also we're interested in knowing as well the challenges that we have experienced. Sometimes the view is that they're external rather than internal, so we have to get our houses in order, so to speak. But are these challenges, will these challenges go away, so to speak? What can we do to make them go away? Especially the increased scrutiny we've received from the European
Well,
Union.
I mean, to me personally, it's just my personal view. There are two
Right.
things happening, right? You have the fact that increasingly countries around the world are becoming very nationalistic, very protective of their own, not really wanting to mingle, not really wanting to merge. But there's also the reality that there have been bad actors in the past that have compromised the integrity of a lot of our programs, and so there is additional scrutiny. I think we are doing what we are supposed to do in that the programs have started to respond to the requests that have been made by the US and by the EU, and that if we continue doing exactly that, mitigating by implementing the changes that they require, that we will see a little bit more ease happening. But also, it's important for us to prove their narratives wrong, because part of
Exactly.
it is that,
Precisely.
you know, some of these countries have their own beliefs about what is right and what is wrong. There's the whole discussion of whether or not people should even be investing in a citizenship. You know, I've heard
Granted.
several arguments about the fact that other people have to migrate and live, and it's not right that people should just pay and get a citizenship. So it comes down to ideologies at the end of the day. But if the individuals who are indicating that this is wrong because we are not doing certain things, if we put those measures in place, then they really wouldn't have a leg to stand on after that. If they
Precisely.
continue with their argument, then we know that they're just validating their position that this is not about what we do, but about an ideology.
Precisely.
So
Precisely.
that's my 2 cents, as we say here in the
Yeah.
Caribbean, on the
Fair
matter.
enough. Fair enough. And my final question to you is, what has your experience been like at CIS 2024? And of course, what stood out to you the most?
Wow. I was just talking to Kevin Hossam about that, who's a colleague, and we go all over the world attending these conferences. And I must tell you, this one really hit a chord with me. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Grenadian and it's here in Grenada, but it's different when you feel so close to the source. You had heads of government, heads of units speaking so openly. You can sit and you can talk. I think the enabling environment for discussion was there,
Right.
right? And we were talking about matters that are timely and relevant to how each and every one of us conduct our business in our neck of the woods. Most times you go to these conferences and there's the marketing pitch. Come sell for me, come do this, come do. It was none of that. You had marketing agents when no one was selling their business.
Yeah.
It wasn't my Grenada Solutions that was on display. It was the Caribbean, and how together as a Caribbean we can come all for one for all, and create an industry that enables all of us to move forward as a region, you know, to also stake our claim. I heard Scarrett speak about, you know, our independence and not necessarily being in bondage. So for me as a Caribbean national, I notice that a Caribbean, not Grenadian.
That is
This
correct.
region is my home.
Yeah.
That empowered me because at the end of the day, we are independent. We fought for independence for a reason. And we do appreciate our diplomatic relations that we have, and we love our allies, but we do have to see what works for us,
Okay.
for our economies, and how do we use our limited resources internally and the extensive resources we have as a group to push our people forward. So I like the fact that there was discussion about transparency. I like the fact that there was discussion about regulation, because we do need regulation. We are a thriving industry, and all industries need standards that we must abide at. As a practitioner, I should be held accountable for what I do. I think also important was the fact that we need to get our citizenry involved, and how important information is, the right information from the right sources is, in terms of educating the people on the ground and also educating the people external. So with that being said, resilience, transparency, regulation, and information circulation, and just accountability by everybody, I think stood out to me as the key takeaways. And so I look forward to what happens next in each and every one of these different jurisdictions. And also I look forward to this event next year, because it was rewarding. I am happy that we came. I'm happy that we sponsored. And I think everyone is leaving here today feeling the same way that I feel.
Right.
Like this was not a waste.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for
Quite
your
welcome.
for your kind comments, and we want to thank you further for having participated.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Thank you.